In this episode, we see the many spectacular sides of Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. It finally feels like fall! We are so excited. We finally made it over to Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. This is in between the towns of Munising and Grand Marais, and we are hiking our first hike in the park to Sable Falls. It's 168, I think, steps down to the bottom of the falls, and then our plan is to continue on over to the beach and the lakeshore.
This is a beautiful area, definitely worth the short hike down here as long as you can manage the 168 steps. You get to see the dune back here, which is really neat, but then you get to see two lighthouses. You get to see way over here to the west, Sable Lighthouse, and then way over here on the other side, you get to see Grand Marais Lighthouse. And it's really cool to see Sable Creek flow into Lake Superior with the waves crashing in over it. Never been to a place quite like this. Don't underestimate the steps.
The Grand Sable Visitor Center is very small, but Kaylee still managed to find something special in the gift shop.
But that is not her credit card. That is Daddy's credit card. She's not getting her own until she can pay for it herself.
The Au Sable Light Station Trail starts near the Hurricane River Campground and follows the shoreline of Lake Superior. So a woodpecker pecked the holes and made the sap come out. Now it looks like a really old candle. It has tons of wax hanging down the side and it's dried. There are two identified shipwrecks along this beach, which is part of what is known as the Shipwreck Coast. The Gale Staples and the Sitka were wooden ships that ran aground in the early 1900s. Their remains have been scattered along the beach and, remarkably, are still visible over 100 years later. Seeing these wrecks reminded us of how dangerous this lake can be and the many sailors who never returned home. This unique part of the shoreline has many formations made of layers of colorful sandstone. Since it is so soft, it is prone to erosion from water, wind, and ice, resulting in these shallow, rocky shelves. While they are beautiful, they also made it treacherous for ships and created the need for a light station here. Built in 1874, the Au Sable Light Station was staffed by lightkeepers for 80 years and could be seen from 12 miles away. This point was one of our favorite places in the Upper Peninsula, and we could have stayed here all day.
When we came to the Grand Marais area, we were originally thinking we would stay at a city campground there. And we got there and checked it out, and it was fine. It was gonna cost $40 a night for water and electricity, and then a dump station there. But we don't really need electricity, and we can conserve our water. So we came further down south to a snowmobile parking area, and boondocking is allowed here. So we've been staying here for the last couple nights, and we're gonna stay here for a couple more. And it's totally free. It's been really quiet. So we carry 2 5-gallon collapsible water jugs. We were able to fill those up at one of the campgrounds we were next to earlier today. Now I can just stick my hose into the jug, change the settings on our water pump, and it will pump the water into our fresh tank. So that is easy peasy. And yeah, we'll take 4 nights of free camping. And I think we're just gonna hang out and let the girls do some schoolwork. I'll get some editing work done. And I think we'll just have a bit of an off day, which is nice for some of these long trips especially.
Good morning! Well, big old fat change of plans. We were gonna stay home today, have a school day, have an editing day, but we woke up to the most gorgeous weather this morning. We finally have clouds, and we finally have fall weather.
It feels so amazing to be cool, naturally.
Yes, it does.
Not artificial cool, real cool.
Yeah, so we decided to come over into the main area of Pictured Rocks, and we are doing one of the more popular hikes. So we are hiking to Sable Falls and Chapel Rock, and maybe
Chapel
over
Beach.
to Chapel Beach. This trail is the only way to access Chapel Rock and Beach by land, and although it's about 7 miles round trip, there is very little elevation gain.
I've never seen a forest like the one we've hiked through. In sections, the canopy is almost completely covered with leaves, but then down below at ground level, you can see for like 200 yards in every direction. There's almost no undergrowth except for just these little maples that are way down by the ground. It's beautiful and just so different from anything that I've ever seen.
The best part of the hike was all the variety of fungi along the trail. Many of them have comical names like turkey tail, artist conch, puffball, and chicken of the woods.
It's completely covered in fungus, and it's among us.
Dad joke.
Dad joke.
About 1.5 miles into the hike, Sable Falls is a 60-foot cascade that makes for a tranquil spot to take a break. We enjoyed being able to capture the falls from multiple angles along the trail. One of the most iconic features in the lakeshore is Chapel Rock, a sandstone arch with a single white pine tree growing on top. This tree is hundreds of years old, and its roots span the gap back to the mainland, a symbol of perseverance.
The wind is kicking these waves up. This looks like a rough ocean, not like a lake.
What a special, special day that we will never, ever forget, right?
Today has been the most awesome day of this trip. Wait 1 second. What are you two doing? They gave a hug without me.
Now that we don't have the sound of all that wind.
The wind is insane, but it makes those waves.
Oh my
and
goodness.
They just pound, pound, pound the rocks.
Even nowhere that we've ever been, even at the ocean, have we ever seen waves that high. They would get close to the cliffs and they would actually come back on themselves and go backwards. It was just...
And then every now and again, the waves coming away from the shore would meet from those that are going toward it, and they would just crash into this huge fountain. One of our favorite places we've ever been to in all our travels.
Yeah, we couldn't really talk much at the beach just because of
the wind was
the
crazy.
wind. You would have heard nothing but
Yep.
But we just had to say that this place has just
stolen our heart.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so thankful we got to come and do this, and on such a beautiful, beautiful day in terms of weather and temperature. I've never even taken off my hoodie, so fall is here and we are so excited.
Yes.
I can see the truck on the All Trails map. We are close.
When we got here this morning, and it wasn't early, it was like 10 o'clock, there were maybe 8-10 cars here, but now this place is packed and people are even parking back up the road. So I would definitely say get here in the morning if you want to do this trail. Good morning from Munising. We got up here yesterday and my folks flew into Green Bay and then rented a car, drove up here, and we're spending some time with them for the next week or so.
We all love waterfalls, so we're just kind of doing some waterfall chasing today. Munising is known for having tons of them in the area and they're all pretty easy hikes, so we're looking forward to a nice brisk fall day. Munising Falls drops 50 feet into a natural sandstone amphitheater, and its flow varies with the seasons and recent rainfall. The hike to Miners Falls is just over a mile through a beautiful hardwood and evergreen forest. It's a popular trail, so don't expect much solitude on this one. And as is the case with most of the waterfalls at Pictured Rocks, it involves lots and lots of stairs. The Bay Furnace was a blast furnace built in the 1870s to process iron ore, which was then shipped across the lake to foundries. Iron melts at 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and long exposure to this intense heat made the rocks in the furnace crumble, so they had to be periodically replaced. "150 years later, remnants of iron can still be found on the shore of the lake. piece of iron we found down on the beach.
Yeah, it's huge.
Kaylee said it would make a good skipping stone.
Skipping piece of iron.
Skipping iron. During the late 1800s, logging became a major industry in the area due to its abundance of timber. Logs were loaded onto sledges or wagons pulled by draft animals.
The lumberjacks that worked up here had a hard life, rugged, raw, crazy amounts of manual labor to be able to cut down the trees. But something that's really interested me for a long time is their food. They cared more about getting good food than they did about getting paid on time. And a bad cook would literally shut down the whole place. They would just refuse to work. And the guys would eat crazy amounts of food, like 9,000 calories a day. And that's something I think that I could get behind.
A wooden chute was built along the steep slope, and logs were slid down to the lake, where they were then floated to sawmills. The friction caused by the sliding logs sometimes made the chute catch fire. Some of the best shoreline views of Pictured Rocks are here at the top of Slide Overlook. The harbor at Grand Marais provided a safe haven to ships during severe weather and was designated as a harbor of refuge. Sailors would line up the inner and outer lighthouses to ensure that they were on the correct course to enter the harbor safely.
I've never seen waves like this. They just hit this wall and shoot up like a geyser. Whoa, it's so awesome. You get a little bit wet, but it's totally worth it, at least for me. Fall has come and it's been a little bit chilly and the weather has been crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
The big thing to do when you come to Munising is to take the cruise out to Pictured Rocks. And we actually had that scheduled our second night here, and it just was not meant to be. We showed up at the dock and there were, I don't know, 200 people waiting in line at least.
And then once we got there, the captain came on the loudspeaker and said, the wind is still pretty high, we're gonna go out, but if you are the least bit prone to seasickness or whatever, do not get on the boat.
And it has been incredibly blustery. We've had some weird weather since we've been here. We woke up a couple nights ago and there was a huge thunderstorm that came through the area.
Lots of lightning, most lightning I've seen in years.
It was just like constant flashing, and of course it woke up Kaylee, so we just hung out in the bed together and just watched the lightning. And
but we've been staying at the Munising Tourist Park, and we've heard a lot about this park from other YouTubers. And once we get here, we understand it.
I was able to snag the last full hookup lakefront site back when I booked this. We have thoroughly enjoyed not just having the lake view, but being able to watch the sunrise on one side and then the sunsets from the other side of the RV has just been magical.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
Join us down the road as we explore Marquette, and autumn finally arrives in all its glory. And until next time, enjoy your journey.